got some bad news for you guys. Did you know that according to Gartner, almost 85% of data initiatives fail? That is definitely not good for data people, but definitely not good for the business leaders that invest in those projects. So today I wanted to come on and share with you my favorite podcast for business leaders who are working to generate organizational value with strategic data initiatives. So basically what I'm going to share with you is my favorite 2 data podcasts. And what's the payoff if you stick around? Well, you're going to learn where to go on the fly, say when you're driving your car or running on the treadmill, where you can go to listen and learn how you can manage your data initiatives better so that you can safeguard the investments your organization is making into the data skill sets, resources, and technologies. And you'll also be able to learn about what steps you can take to safeguard your current initiatives. Okay, so that's what these podcasts are really all about. That's the core takeaway for you if you stick around. Now, let's get going. I'm sharing this with you today because I was talking to my friend Miko Yuk, and we have made a decision that I am going to come on as co-host of Analytics on Fire, which is one of my favorite data podcasts. So I'm going to tell you more about that podcast in a minute, but for now, I'm Lillian Pearson, and I'm a data strategist that supports business leaders to deliver stronger ROI through effective data initiatives. Again, what we're covering today is podcasts for business leaders who have large data initiatives under their purview or who want to bring online data initiatives, but they want to make sure that those data initiatives are going to be successful and not fail like the 85% of other ones that are happening around the industry right now. So let's talk about the podcasts you can listen to help you achieve those goals. First, the 2 podcasts I'm going to discuss today are Data Crunch and Analytics on Fire. Now, Data Crunch has been around for a long time. Now, if you are looking to learn about areas of risk within your business that you can work to mitigate through effective data strategy, then Data Crunch is going to be a good place for you to go and listen to other people's stories about problems they have had or maybe areas that you're just not aware of yet. Another benefit to listening to Data Crunch is that you're going to be able to hear about strategies, successful strategies that other organizational leaders have been able to execute in order to generate massive business value. So there's a lot of success stories on there, and there's a lot of stories of basically how they got there. And these are the areas that I would recommend you go in and just pay close attention to. There is also some marketing talk, which I'm not a fan of personally, but around that, you've got to kind of wade through it. There are some really juicy and informative tidbits. So personally, I love Data Crunch, and the reason that I am most interested in following Data Crunch podcast is that I go in there and I listen to the gaps in the market. So I hear what other data strategists are doing or what organizations are doing, what their consultants have supported them in achieving, and I hear a lot of gaps between what they're doing and my methodologies in my business. It gives me ideas for bringing services online, also for marketing. Also, I like to listen to things that I like to learn from other people who have expertise in areas where we lack in my business, so that I can then grow and become a better professional myself. Okay, now let's talk about Analytics on Fire. Analytics on Fire is a BI masterclass, and so it's for people who are working in analytics and data storytelling and business intelligence, and it's supporting them to basically get the value from their data and their data science and make sure that that value is transmitted and communicated to the business, so the business actually gets the win, right? So we've got data professionals over here. You're spending a lot of money on them, and they are probably coming up with some incredibly valuable insights, but those insights need to be brought into action. Analytics on Fire is the place to go so that you can make sure that you are making the most of those data insights and actually translating them into business value. So Miko herself covers data storytelling and essentially how to take data visualizations and data insights and translate them into business value. But now we're going to bring me on board, and we're going to be talking from a strategic level. How do we plan this out from a practical, technical planning perspective? How do we get your 18-month plan on board? How do you get your 2-year plan on board? How do you just really make sure that your data initiatives are on track on a quarterly basis and that you don't have risk in terms of the investments you're making in these costly, professionals and technologies and resources and all of that. So that's a little bit about what Analytics on Fire is all about. But Miko has an incredible network of business leaders who she brings on from major corporations like Shell and American Express, and she's also in touch with leaders from the data industry. So she just had a podcast with Cole Nussbaumer on her podcast, and Cole Nussbaumer is the author of the book Storytelling with Data. It's actually one of my favorite data visualization books on the market. Miko brings on a lot of data leaders that will knock your socks off. So in my opinion, it's a little less salesy than Data Crunch. And now she's bringing me on board as a co-host. So I'm gonna then now contribute and pull from my network a lot of data leaders, like in the influencer space. I would probably reach out to Bernard Marr and Ronald Van Loon, who have been working all around the world with the biggest organization. And additionally, just other contacts I have from my network of 650,000. So that is the plan for Analytics on Fire, and I definitely encourage you just to pop over and get listening to that podcast right away. You can do that by clicking on the link below. I hope to see you in upcoming episodes throughout 2020. And also, I would love it if you just reach out, maybe even send me a direct message and make suggestions on leaders, business leaders, or data industry leaders that we can invite on board to capture their story so we can all learn from them together. So I definitely encourage you to reach out and, make your wish list and let us know who you want to hear, and we will work to make that happen. All right, see you next time.